you do the daily Delaney downer.
That's correct.
The bad economic. What if there's good economic news? Do you just ignore it?
No, we call that an upside downer.
Oh, I got it. All right. Glad you got it covered here, because we don't want just bad news on this program here, right?
There are very few upside downers. I try to stick to the bad news.
Right. Well, we certainly did not have an upside downer on Friday when the job numbers came out, right? 74,000 in December. What the hell happened? I mean, this is a holiday time when usually people get more jobs because they're temporary holiday jobs.
It was a weird, bad jobs report on Friday, in which the unemployment
and unexpected, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Everyone expected there to be more jobs, more like 200,000 than 70,000. Of course, this number is revised in the coming months, and I think it will probably be revised upward so that it looks more like other months.
God forbid it be revised downward, right? Yeah.
Right. But even more discouraging, the unemployment rate went down from 7 to 6.7%.
Why is that discouraging?
Because inside the report, you learn that there wasn't a whole lot of new employment. There were fewer people looking for jobs. So fewer people counted as part of the workforce. And, that's how they come up with the rate. And if the denominator goes down, that can make the rate go down as well as the numerator going up.
So these are just people who've been out of work and looking for a job for so long that they finally just give up. Is that it?
Quite possibly. So people need to understand how this jobs report is put together, because all the time there's this assumption that it's based on the number of people receiving unemployment insurance, and it's not. It is a monthly survey of 60,000 households. And if you tell them, and they don't just say, are you employed or unemployed? They ask you a series of questions. Have you looked for a job in the last 4 weeks? And if you say no, you don't count as part of the workforce, even though you probably want a job. And there are about 6 million people in that situation who haven't looked, but would like to work. But since they're not actively looking, they are not counted, and that's all based on that survey.
These are the same 60,000 people or 60,000 random Americans?
It's not the same 60,000 every month, but I think they do follow up with some number of them.
And who does this, a Labor Department?
Yeah. The Census Bureau collects the data.
What about people who have a job?
Well, yeah, if you have a job, you tell them that and count it as employed.
Yeah. So pretty bleak, though. And after several months of over 100,000, right, in a row.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times in the past couple of years that the unemployment rate has gone down, it has been a mix of people getting jobs, but also people not looking for work, and the labor force participation rate going down instead of up, which would be preferable.
So I've got an idea. I'll bet you some of those people that they talk to in that 60,000 have been out of work a long time, and they've been looking for work a long time, and their unemployment benefits are running out, or in the case of 1.3 million, have run out.
Yeah.
So how about if we extend unemployment insurance for those people to help them along as they continue to look for jobs?
Unemployment insurance for the long-term unemployed is actually, I think, the only federal policy that targets those people. There are 4 million of them, and the benefits reach, about 1.3 million. And that is what Congress has been talking about for the past few weeks, because they let those benefits lapse in December.
What's the discrepancy between 4 million and 1.3?
Well, a million of that 4 million have been out of work so long, they don't qualify for benefits.
I got it. Okay.
Large numbers of them have been out of work for a long time, but they didn't lose a job. They may be re-entering the workforce after going to school, or having been at home, or they just coming out of college. So you don't qualify for unemployment unless you lost a job and you're still looking for work. So only about a million of those. Another reason is simply that the benefits don't last as long as they used to.
Okay. So the 1.3 million who lost their benefits January 1, the Senate has decided 61, I forget. But the Senate decided they're going to have a vote on this. Where are they now?
They had a vote last week.
A procedural vote.
A procedural vote.
Right.
And they needed Republicans. They got 6 of them. And so this bill was advancing, and it would have provided benefits, reauthorized those programs for 3 months.
Okay, so piece of cake. They got 6 Republicans. So let's pass it.
Well,
right?
all the Republicans who voted for it, or at least half of them, they said, we're only voting for this because we want to see it move forward, but we need spending cuts in order to really support this when it comes down to whether
they're demanding a pound of flesh, right?
So Harry Reid wants to give them that, but the way things are changing, it has been unpredictable. On Thursday, Harry Reid came out and said, we now have a plan that will keep the benefits for a whole year as opposed to just 3 months. So this is confusing. So they changed from the 3-month bill with no offsets to a full year thing that did have offsets.
With offsets, right.
Based on Republican ideas.
Yeah.
Or so Harry Reid claimed. All the Republicans were pissed off because they said, this isn't exactly our idea. You changed it, which he did, which was a somewhat fair thing for them to complain about. And
but he's also the boss.
He's very much the boss, and this is part of the problem. He totally alienated them by saying, here's your idea, and you can't have an amendment. And they were totally angry about that. And Harry Reid basically said, screw you. And he filed for cloture on this new thing that they were supposed to vote on yesterday, and they didn't, because Harry Reid, over the weekend, had a change of heart and has been talking to these Republicans about how he will give them a chance to have amendments after all.
Well, they probably didn't vote on it yesterday because they didn't have the votes.
Of course. And that was the development when they all said they were unhappy last week. It was pretty clear that if Harry Reid proceeded, it wouldn't work out.
So are they going to get their stuff together today?
So now Republicans are pushing again for the 3-month thing and doing that with offsets. Harry Reid presumably still wants the full year thing.
Yeah, I mean, why? When did we ever adopt this new theory in Congress that whatever you do, you just do it for 2 or 3 months? You know, it's like the freaking debt ceiling. It's the budget agreement. It's unemployment. You know, just do the damn thing, right?
Well, yeah,
seriously.
That might be what
every
they
2 months,
do.
every 3 months. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
Here's one of the big disputes between.
This Congress is the worst Congress in the history of the Republic.
I think the polling.
They ought to throw the whole, and I got a lot of friends in that Congress. They ought to throw the whole gang of them out.
The polling,
the
people
bunch.
agree. Don't you hate Congress? Yes. Approval rating 9%. Don't you hate your congressman? No.
Well,
so that's why they never throw all the bums out.
You got to get rid of some of the good with the bad, and you just. I mean, seriously. And then I think you ought to have they ought to have to sign a pledge, right? I'm going to be a grown-up.
They do sign. They sign all kinds of pledges. They sign the Taxpayer Protection Pledge.
Well, then they have
none of this stuff
I don't know.
works.
Then they have to keep their pledge.
Oh my God!
Yeah, right.
We are pounding desks today. Yeah.
All right. So
can we get back to this dry policy discussion?
Well, but it pisses
and
me. It
parliamentary
pisses me off.
procedure that I'm trying to have here.
Let me. Whose show is this? Now wait a minute. One question I have. So what does any Republican get by saying, I'm going to oppose giving these 1.3 million people any more unemployment insurance? I got a job. I make $175,000 a year. My family is not hurting, so screw them. How many votes is he getting by taking that attitude?
They get elected because Republican voters don't really care for unemployment insurance past 6 months. According to our polling, at least, when we ask, do you want unemployed people to have help after 6 months, which is what they get from the states?
Guess what? They'd change their freaking opinion if they were all out of a job. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They would.
But
I mean, seriously.
Unemployment is something that will never affect any of these people, even if they were thrown out of office. But they're invincible to it because they can become consultants or whatever.
You can't say that. I mean, among their supporters, among their voters. You know, a lot of those people, they could have a job today, but they could be out of luck tomorrow. And out tomorrow.
I was referring to office holders.
Oh, you're right. Well, that you're probably right, because they're invincible, because somebody will always hire them as a lobbyist.
Right.
Even the worst of them. I don't know. I'm just losing all faith in government now.